Where have all the Harleys gone? Long time passing. Yep, it's another musical video here on RevelatorAlf. Catch you inside.
RevelatorAlf.
Hello, welcome to RevelatorAlf. I hope you're all well in these testing times. So I've just come back from the dealership here near where I live, and they had a little display of the Pan America. So I'm going to have a little test ride of that in a couple of weeks' time. I might also look at a road glide if I can test ride that as well. But anyway, so I'll be doing a few test rides possibly with Harley Davidson in the coming weeks. But interestingly, I got into the discussion with them about the availability of stock and what's actually coming in from the United States. And, well, the truth is, there isn't a lot. They've been scrapping around for stock for quite a few months now, even during the lockdown process. And also, what is coming through, it kind of comes through in dribs and drabs. And then because there isn't much of a supply, and this is probably all over in all dealerships in all countries, because there isn't much of a supply, because I assume from the pandemic a lot of the manufacturing was closed down by the company, then it's kind of created this abnormal demand for bikes. You know, they're being snapped up as soon as they come out. So whilst their sales numbers might not be great, whatever they do have, they seem to be selling quite quickly. So it's a good thing, definitely a good thing that there is a demand there, or the lack of supply has created the demand. But actually the numbers probably won't stack up that much. Now, obviously, they've got this iconic range here, and they came out with the Revival as the first one a couple of weeks ago, and I believe the allocation for the UK has already been snapped up. The Pan America has yet to hit the shores here in the UK, I believe. However, the dealership there just now did have a display model, and they were inviting people to have a little walk around it and all sorts of stuff. So I am planning to have a little test ride on that in a couple of weeks. I mean, it does look great. I've got to say, the Pan America up close and personal. They do seem to have addressed a few issues. They did have the special version there, not the standard version there as well. But we kind of got talking about the lack of supply, and it's not just on particular models. It appears that it's on across the model range. We also got talking about, actually, how is this kind of tariff, or this news of a tariff, going to affect prices here in the UK, and maybe general sales all over. Now, we're talking about quite a big hike in prices for this new tariff that the Europeans want to charge American-based companies, let's say, for their imports. And Harley Davidson is one of those as well, of course. Also said that actually a lot of some of the motorcycles right now are not coming from the United States. They're coming from Taiwan or whatever the manufacturer is over there. So and they're trying to cut down on costs and delivery costs that way. What we kind of discussed there for us in the UK is, actually, will this tariff apply to us here? We're not really sure. I mean, that's the truth of it. We're not really sure, because Great Britain, United Kingdom, is not part of Europe anymore, but we're still kind of following a lot of the same principles right now. It really depends if the UK government fall into line with the European way of imposing these tariffs, or whether they are going to go for a separate route and not impose these tariffs. So we just really don't know. There isn't any news out there for us to digest. The other problem is this, that all bikes that come into Europe actually go straight into a main hub in Europe, in Belgium, I believe. And then all the motorcycles and all the products and all the spares are then distributed out. So it could be that even though Britain isn't in Europe, because they get the parts and the motorcycles via Belgium, those tariffs would still apply. It's not quite clear yet. So we kind of talked about, does United Kingdom need a distribution centre or a hub in itself, that the motorcycles come directly from America or from Taiwan or wherever they are, and come direct here as opposed to going to Europe? Who knows? I mean, that could be a possibility for the future, but certainly could be for financial reasons. It could be for the pandemic. There hasn't been a great supply of motorcycles. That's certainly been very noticeable here in the last few months in the UK, possibly around Europe. And you may have noticed it in other parts of the world, let's say United States and Canada. It's starting to drip feed some of those some of those models through, but there is going to be a waiting list. There is an increased demand because of the lack of supply. So whilst they're being snapped up, the numbers still aren't great, I think. But, you know, possibly in the next few months, it might sort itself out. In terms of the Pan America, they're not expecting many motorcycles here, as I've already reported. And that's the same for lots of other motorcycles. The prices have gone up a little bit anyway, but it's yet to be seen whether the prices will go up substantially because of these new tariffs that are coming into force in June, I believe they are. Anyway, listen, I thought I'd bring that to you because I thought, well, where are all these bikes? Why aren't they coming over? And there isn't really a definitive answer for that. We haven't had anything from Harley Davidson to say, do you know what, there's a shortage of supply, we're trying to ramp up our production, nothing like that. So it seems as if everybody's suffering, the dealerships are suffering a little bit as well. I kind of feel sorry for them because they haven't really got products to sell. You know, they can't really get demonstrator bikes in as well because there's no point in having a demonstrator bike if you haven't actually got bikes to sell that customer as well, because there's such a shortage of them. So, you know, it'd be interesting to see what happens in the next few months. It'd be interesting to see actually how this affects the company. Now, first quarter results, where you'd say, oh yeah, they've had a big spike in demand and a big spike in sales. But if you look at their general sales over the last few years, they're still very low. So I think, you know, it'd be interesting to see how they recover as a company over the next sort of 12 months, 2 years. And not only Harley Davidson, but all manufacturers of any description. Anyway, listen, I thought I'd bring that to you. Where are all the Harley Davidsons gone? Well, I think they're still in the pipeline somewhere, and it's yet to be seen when they'll reach the dealership floors. Well, in any great numbers anyway. Anyway, if I have any more news, I'll bring it to you as soon as I can. But don't forget to subscribe, like and share. Check out the website, RevelatorAlf.com. I'll catch you again. Ta-da.